everyone, and welcome to this video on Frontier video. My name is Jay Wakefield and we're back today with the Compaq Evo N410c. Now, on my last video of this machine, I got a few comments, one of which was from YouTube user Gareth Archer, and he was asking, is there going to be a restore video on this computer? To which I replied, I'll see what I can do. Well, now that I've said that, I'm actually going to break the bad news to you, Gareth, that no, there is not going to be a restore video on this machine after all. Well, not in the traditional sense, and that's because I do not have the quick restore media that goes to this machine. However, if what you were meaning is, will I put a clean Windows installation on it, then yes, that I will be doing. So let's get started. Now, this machine has got a 1.2 gigahertz Tualatin Pentium 3, and it is backed up by 512 megs of RAM, which I halved. It did have a gig in it, but you know, I just kind of felt it was inappropriately high. I think the hard drive that's in here, I think I put a 40 in here, or it came with a 40, or something to do with a 40 gig. But, you know, we'll find that out along the way. So without further ado, let's power this thing on. And while we wait for it to guard its loins and start getting up and walking about and doing stuff, I would like to actually talk about the operating system we're going to put on here. Well, it's going to appear now anyway. I've decided to go with Windows 2000 Professional. Now, Road Geek was saying to me, well, Jay, why don't you dual boot it with something like 98 in 2000 or ME in 2000? I would have very much liked to have done that. However, the problem with doing so is this. The graphics card that is in this system, the ATI Mobility Rage Mobility M6, does not seem to have Windows 9X drivers anywhere, and I've looked. There's none on Compaq's website, there doesn't seem to be any in the usual haunts with which I look for drivers. So, you know, it looks like this is going to be a Windows 2000 only machine. But I'm guessing for a computer that came bundled with Windows XP originally, well, I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. Now, in 2003, when this machine was new, I would have had absolutely no qualms about running XP on this thing. And I can tell you that is true because I had Windows XP running on my 2001 custom built, which was half the speed and only a Celeron. Whereas with something like this, nowadays, Windows XP, it's just grown so big nowadays that it works better with things like a Core 2 Duo. So now we're at the Windows 2000 welcome to setup screen. So I'm going to set up Windows 2000 by pressing enter. Yeah, man, I totally agree with that licensing agreement. Yeah. Unpartitioned space, of which, actually, this is a 60 gig drive. Oh, okay. 60 gig drive, just like in my 2001 custom built. Right. And we're going to full format the hard drive, because I can. Now this will take a wee while, so what I'm going to do is I will let this basically sit in the corner and play with itself until I start to feel a wee bit uncomfortable, and then by which time hopefully the drive will be formatted and I'll join you for the file copying portion of setup. Oh, it's 99, soon it'll be 2000, wait, no, but Windows 2000, but 90, Happy New Year. I mean, Nah, getting on. 99% formatted. After that, the hard drive will be 100% formatted, and then it will go on to install Windows 2000. See? Like these! So in the time that it took to format this 60 gig hard drive, I was able to update a few games on my PC, make a fresh cup of tea because I drank the other one while the drive was formatting. Yes, full formats do take a while, but sometimes that's the best way to go. So then you know that the hard disk drive is as the file system is as clean as it possibly can be for, you know, a full format. And it also weeds out the possibility of any kind of it weeds out the possibility of a lot of file system errors. So on Windows 2000 on a fast machine, this part really doesn't take too long at all. Of course, the next part is the GUI phase of setup, and I think the hardware detection probably takes as long as the file copying phase of this part of setup. I remember the first time I ever installed Windows 2000. I mean, I thought that I'd be able to put my Windows 98 boot disk in and type setup.exe and it would start. Nope! Completely not the case. Although, what I didn't know back then was that I could have went to the i386 folder and had the files copied over, but I really didn't want that either because, you know, I only had 2.01 gigabytes in total on that system. So, yeah, don't do that. Anyway, now it's time to select the keyboard layout. And well, Nicola Sturgeon has indeed made her case, started the Summer Independence Initiative. You know, case for Indie Ref 2 in Scotland. I'm pretty sure I don't need to tell you that as Windows 2000 is now out of any kind of support phase from Microsoft, there will be no acknowledgement for an independent Scotland. However, the modding community might do something like that and, you know, might update Windows 2000 Unofficial Service Pack 5, of which I've not tried yet, and I might actually throw it on this machine, give it a go on here. That'd be quite interesting. Alright, so I'm just changing the keyboard layout to UK. Excellent, that's what it is. System locale is set to English United Kingdom, and the user locale is set to English United Kingdom for all users on this computer. The keyboard layout controls the characters appear when you type. Each user will use the United Kingdom keyboard layout. Basically what's going to happen is Windows 2000 is going to turn into a Monty Python character, and there's going to be like, what, stiff upper lip, you know, botty, Woody, and all that good stuff. Right, time to type my name, and the organisation, okay, let's have a look at the time. Saturday, August the 20th. 2016, 9:26. Yep. Automatically adjust the clock for daylight saving changes. Yes. Time to click next. I wonder if the network card in this machine will be detected. It'd be nice if it were. Because then I could just go straight to my server and get everything I need for this machine once Windows is installed. I like how if a modem's detected, it sets it up during Windows setup as well. Okay, well I guess the network hardware has not been detected by Windows 2000. How miserable can you get? So I guess I'll have to use a flash drive to install the drivers on here. Not too much of a problem. This system has USB 2, and you can actually go onto Windows Update and get the drivers. So that is actually quite cool. Windows 2000 has support written by Microsoft for USB 2. Now, I know people have been able to use USB 2 cards in Windows 98 machines as well, but I've always had problems with it. Maybe because I've been using cheap USB 2 cards. But, you know, I'm wondering if I actually got something that was actually built properly and used it in a Windows 98 box, whether I would actually be able to have USB 2 and not lose any kind of stability that once I had on said system. Well, while I muse over that, I'm going to switch the camera off and let the rest of setup complete in peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, I believe Windows 2000 setup has completed. Now I guess we can reboot again.
I remember the first time I saw the Windows 2000 boot screen as well. I remember seeing it at first in a magazine and thinking, hang on a minute, that's got an actual status bar, an actual loading bar that shows the percentage loaded. I thought that was pretty neat. Welcome to the Network Identification Wizard. You're not connected to a network, but we thought we'd actually bring this up anyway. Users must enter a username and password to use this computer. Excellent. Let me just log in here as the admin. Well then. So before I do anything, I want to make myself a user account on here. Yes, I am having difficulty seeing that blooming mouse pointer. Give myself a password. Make myself a member of the administrators group, and have all users required press Ctrl Alt Delete to log on. Now here's a nice wee trick. If you don't want your password to expire, which it will in Windows 2000, it's a security thing, you can actually disable that. To do that, we can go into the computer management console within administrator tools. I need to get the bigger mouse pointer. Then we can go to local users and groups, double click on users. What I can do then is go to properties. There we go. And we've got a nice selection of options here. And FYI, this was basically how you actually set up a user account in Windows NT4. Okay, so these options are available to you in Windows XP as well, by the way, and I believe later versions of Windows as well. User must change password at next logon. You could actually set that. I have done that actually for a client with a Windows XP machine. It's actually one of my colleagues at the office whose machine needed fixed, so I actually, I was able to sort that out and set her up with a. Actually, it was one of the Northwood Pentium 4 3.5 gigahertz machines. I think it was 3.5 or 3.6 or 3.5. It was quick. It was damn quick anyway. And I think it was hyper-threaded as well. Really quite a nice little system. It was one of those HP Pavilion Media Center 2004 jobs. And I set her up with a new install of Windows 7 because XP was past its support date. And because her children use a computer, I was actually able to set them up with user accounts as well. But what I did was actually set all of the user accounts up so that the password would need to be changed at first logon, because obviously, I don't know the passwords, but they would know exactly what they want the password to be, and I was able to help make their computers help make that happen in the easiest way possible. Anyway, password never expires. Unfortunately, you can't use the change password at next logon option with password never expires set. Then with this user account, what you can do, you can actually have a nice wee batch script start with it. I think this just applies locally. Obviously, if this were Windows 2000 server, that would apply to any system on the domain. Excellent. So now that I've messed about on the admin account, what I will do is I'll just log on. So here we have the drivers, Windows 98 and Windows XP. Now the XP drivers will work absolutely fine on Windows 2000. Most of the drivers are there for Windows 98, however, like I said before, the display drivers, they don't appear to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy these files over. Some people might think it's strange, me taking a laptop from, I believe, 2003 and installing Windows 2000 Professional on it. Well, first off, Windows XP isn't as small as it once was, and as a result runs now very sluggishly on basically anything under a Pentium M at 1.7, 1.8 gigahertz or above. And this being a Pentium 3 1.2 gigahertz, it's, this is going to be one of those systems, especially with the SD RAM instead of anything like DDR. Also, people buying new machines in 2003, especially for businesses, of which this machine was for a business, they didn't always go with the latest and greatest. In fact, they still don't. I mean, obviously the IT industry needs a lot of time for the uptake of new versions of Windows. I mean, in a business setting, that takes time. And people need to know that the apps that they use are going to be completely compatible. And, businesses really don't want downtime with their IT equipment. Not only that, but, upgrading these things costs money. As a result, a lot of businesses, we're only starting to transition to Windows 2000 by the time Windows XP surfaced. And it took a lot of businesses a good while to transition to Windows XP. I mean, they started doing so in about, obviously there's going to be a couple businesses that, actually installed Windows XP when it was just out. For example, there was an office at the top of one of the Cairngorm Mountains where I went skiing in February 2002 that had a system that ran Windows XP. Quite strange, actually. The first Windows XP machine I saw out in the field was up at the top of a flaming mountain. But certainly, for example, my school, they actually bought quite a lot of HP Compaq systems in 2004. And they came with Windows 2000 on them, even though they had Windows XP COAs, which was quite amusing. I'm sure a lot of students helped themselves to those. Anyway, let's actually go and install some drivers, even though I can barely see what I'm doing. First up, let's install the video driver. So most of the stuff here will actually run on Windows 2000. There are some XP specific bits of software. I'm guessing it would be things like the Compaq Help and Support Center and what have you that will not run on Windows 2000. LED switch policy. Nope, don't want that. Compaq default settings. Does that run? So basically this is just me. Yeah, for example, this is me installing stuff, and this is, the example of something that will not work. I'll just show you here. System enhancements for Microsoft Windows XP. It knows that this is not Windows XP, and basically it's actually telling me, well, hi, that's not really football, is it? Let's install the modem. Okay, I don't know what just happened there, but I'm going to go into I'm going to go into the device manager, and if I don't see an installed modem, there's going to be trouble. Oh, you got lucky. And that will obviously clear itself up after I've restarted. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Compaq easy access buttons, that's these guys up here. We've got volume buttons as well, but they're not going to work. Not until I install some sound drivers anyway. Synaptics touchpad driver, the Ethernet adapter, very, very important. Good thing I copied and pasted the location, the install location. I love that. It doesn't ever seem to want to give you a proper driver install program on the actual CD, so to speak. What I will do is I'm going to change a couple system settings. Hide extensions for known file type. Nope. Show all files and show hidden files and folders. Yep. Show full path in the address bar. Yep. That basically means I can do this. And I can, well, actually I can close this window outright, I guess. Although I probably will install the software that comes with this. What I can do then is Ethernet controller, reinstall driver, search for a suitable driver for the device, and specify location, and then just paste the location into here, click OK, and there we go, it's found a driver. And we have Ethernet. Well, isn't that nice? While I'm here, let's see if I can... Actually, I think I'm going to need to get the internet set up to be able to search for drivers on Microsoft Update. Well, Windows Update. And then the final driver we need to install, because the other one is basically SoundMax for Windows, this system enhancements for Windows XP again, is the SoundMax driver. Now we're going to restart the machine. Okay, so we're getting ready to go into Windows 2000. And there we go, all the drivers are installed. Now, someone actually brought up on my last video of this machine, I got rid of the Compaq Evo N410c when scaling is a thing. Yes, indeed, scaling is a thing, but on older versions of Windows itself, I mean, that would scale okay. I mean, the shape of a few of the controls would be, changed a bit and made to look quite ugly in certain ways. But, I mean, for some of the text would not seem to scale at all. And of course, there's a lot of apps that, from this time period, which simply just do not work with font scaling set to anything above 100%. Just don't want to work at all, which is a bit of a shame. Anyway, let's log on. Listen at that sound coming out the slice. That is amazing. I'm going to turn the shadow on the mouse, the pointer shadow. I've always found that that's actually really quite helpful having the shadow under the mouse pointer. There we go. Now what I want to do is enable internet access. Good, that's that done. And then I'll go back to my computer, hardware, device manager, and the universal serial bus controller. What are you doing? Now, I'm not sure this will work just yet, but we're going to give it the old college try. Nope, that didn't work. And I will tell you for why that didn't work. It's because we still have an update to install. This version of Windows 2000 is 5.00.2195 Service Pack 1. There were more service packs made for Windows 2000, of which I'm going to install the latest one. However, because my network is set up, I can actually do that. So let's go there now. I'm just going to map some network drives. Go to Installs, Retro, Legacy, Windows 2000 Service Pack 4. And there we go. And yes, I know my drives are very, very full. Just close these windows. Even 10100 is pretty quick. Certainly I've noticed quite a performance increase since I decided that everything should be wired up. Yes, I agree to the terms, but do not wish to archive any files. And there it goes. So I will leave Windows 2000 Service Pack 4 to install, and I'll be right back once it has done. And we're back. So what we have here is an installation of Windows 2000 that has been upgraded to Service Pack 4. Excellent. Now hopefully if I go back to the device manager, double click on the USB Universal Serial Bus Controller, and once again try and have it find the driver on Windows Update. It's found one. Oh, that's nice. NEC USB Enhanced Controller. Yeah, if you're going to update the drivers for your USB ports, don't do what I did. Don't have something plugged into them. Whoops. We're off to a fine start here. Oh dear. Anyway. Yep, that hold still works. So, this machine, at least hardware-wise and basic Windows setup-wise, is done. Obviously, I will need to install some software to it, which, you know what, I think I'm going to, because I'm feeling kind of generous like that. Funny how that works. Funny though, while I'm not going to use Windows XP, I will be installing an early 2003 software bundle. So that would include things like Microsoft Office XP, Microsoft Work Suite 2003, and, you know, kind of just things like that. So what I think I will do is I will install the apps that I want to install, and I'll spear back at you. So here we are much later. It's now 2 o'clock in the morning on August the 21st. And I have most of my software installed. And yes, I have put up the fonts a wee bit. But I've gone for a 2003-esque software bundle. And the reason for that is this machine is from around about 2003. So there's Work Suite 2003. We can go into Encarta, which has the same startup chime as Encarta 2002. Would you believe it? Oh. Yep, the web center is fully working. That's good. Well done. Microsoft money. Kind of a nice startup chime is that. Microsoft picture at Photo 7. And this was when we started to see kind of a more, I'm going to say, mature interface from Microsoft Picture. It actually kind of looks, well, it looks like older versions of Microsoft Greetings, like Microsoft Greetings 2000. But it's not got the wham bam thank you ma'am kind of flash animations of the versions of Picture It Photo which came with Worksuite 2001 and 2002. Just a quiet wee demo window saying, yeah, look what you can do. But then you had all of your options on the side and a nice wee toolbar at the top, which offers, you know, quite a lot of buttons, a lot of different functions. So yeah, kind of nice and sensible in that kind of a way. Then you've got auto route. Look at that. It's got Western Europe in it. And then there's all kinds of web services which probably don't work anymore. As well as that, there's Office XP, as I promised. Look at that. Microsoft Word. And there's also Adobe Photoshop and Jask Paint Shop Pro 8. Now this shouldn't be too slow on here, I don't think. I mean, I ran this on my 2001 custom built, and, you know, like I said, I mean, that was just over half the speed of this system. And Photoshop worked quite well, actually. And I keep pressing Alt F5 on this keyboard. What have I done? Oh! Works portfolio. Oh well, Billy will be pleased. Billy Carr. He hates the Works portfolio. I quite like it, but yeah. Anyway, I think with that, I'm going to conclude this video. I hope you've all enjoyed watching it. If you have, please feel free to subscribe to Videos on Frontier on YouTube, like Videos on Frontier on Facebook, and follow me on Twitter. The URLs will follow. But for the meantime, thank you for watching this video, and please do join me for my next one. Goodbye.